can still draw a crowd. And I know that if Charlie were to be told, wow, you filled up Kennedy Center tonight, he'd say, it wasn't me, it was God. It was God. Boy, I miss Charlie. I will say that he'd have a couple criticisms tonight. He'd say, where are the smoke machines? Where's the confetti? Where are the sparklers when Bobby Kennedy took the stage? Because Charlie knew how to put on a show to spread the message of Jesus Christ. He really did. You know what, there's in the book of Genesis, there's a Bible quote that says, in so many words, it's actually a little easier to understand if I put it in modern language. What the enemy meant for harm, God will use for good. And God is using Charlie Kirk for good. I'm heartbroken about Charlie's loss. 31. And somebody took his life. I got the call on Wednesday. I was working. And a friend of mine called and said, is Charlie okay? I heard he was shot. I said, Charlie who? Couldn't have been Charlie Kirk? And I got on, of course, I went to Twitter. Like, how many of you went to Twitter? To Twitter, and I saw a clip of people running. And I thought, that doesn't look good. That doesn't look good. I knew Charlie was starting up this amazing movement where he was going to go campus to campus to talk about America and what's happening in America, which is so amazing and so powerful. And talk to people who disagreed with him. Debate them. There's nothing more peaceful than that. Our first clip I saw was of people running, and I thought, that looks bad, but of course, everything's going to be fine. And then I saw another clip. And it was Charlie being asked a question. And out of nowhere, an assassin's bullet came through the crowd and hit him in the neck. We saw his head. We saw the blood, and we saw him go down. We've got to stop this, folks. We can't let this go on. This violence has got to stop. It's got to stop. And I'm not going to say our side is perfect, but damn it, this is coming from the other side. How does a 22-year-old become so filled with hate? 5 years earlier, I was told he was a Trump supporter. And we sent our kids off to college and they brainwashed them. I am making a plea to mothers out there. Do not send your children into these indoctrination camps. Don't do it. Do not do it. At one moment, that 22-year-old who shot Charlie was a baby in his mother's arms. And by all accounts, those parents did a good job raising him until he was sent off to be brainwashed. We have lived through the most horrific brainwashing campaign in the history of mankind. And the very fact that we're all here means we have somehow survived it. We've survived it. But too many youngsters are not surviving it. And we got to stand up. Because some things are non-negotiable. Our children's minds and futures are non-negotiable. Charlie Kirk came to my house several years ago with Erica. They had just gotten married. I remember asking him about their beautiful wedding rings that were they were made specifically for them, matching rings. Although I will say Erica had a beautiful cascade of diamonds around hers. Charlie, good job. You did a good job with that. And they hadn't had children yet, and my children joined us at the table, and it happened to be the day I invited them to dinner. It happened to be, by the grace of God, the day that President Trump gave me my first endorsement from President Donald J. Trump, which is pretty special. Which, by the way, thank you, Charlie, for helping us make sure President Trump won this time. We got to give him some thanks for that. Charlie's 25 years younger than me. I'm not going to have you do the math. Please do not do the math. If I catch one of you with a calculator on your phone right now, I'm going to have the security guards take your phone. 25 years younger than me, and I was so excited through dinner, I kept saying, I got the endorsement, Charlie. And he finally said, stop. Enough celebrating. Let's make the next plan. What's the next step? And for 2.5 hours, Charlie gave me the best political advice of anybody in the world. I mean, better political advice than you could get from anybody who had 60 years on him. And then when he left, he said, from now on, I thought this was great. He said, by the way, from now on, your first name isn't Kari. Your first name is Trump endorsed, and your last name is Kari Lake. He said, use that everywhere you go. I know we don't have a lot of time. There's so many good speakers tonight. This is a battle between good and evil. I wish we could compromise, but you can't compromise with evil. You can't compromise with evil. Charlie didn't go to college. My daughter didn't go to college, and said she went and worked for Charlie Kirk. And she quit about a year ago, and Charlie said, I heard Ruby quit. And I said, well, she's taking your advice. She wants to get married and start a family. And he said, well, that's a pretty good reason to quit. So I miss Charlie already. I know all of you do. I know that you're comforting your children. You might be comforting one another. But I just ask us all to step up and be strong. Charlie had a shirt when he was taken from us. Do you remember what that said? Freedom. We can't have freedom without faith. And I believe that Charlie will live an even bigger life after Wednesday than he would have before Wednesday. And I hate to say that because I miss him. But God is using him in such powerful ways. Charlie is not dead. He's got everlasting life. He's got everlasting life. I tried to sleep in today, and my beautiful, wonderful husband brought me coffee in bed, which is the best thing ever. Find a good spouse, please, everybody. If you're not married, find one that loves and supports you. And I was reading I got on Twitter, and I happened to, one of the first things I saw was from Tyler Boyer, who we love in Arizona. He is Charlie's right-hand man at Turning Point Action. They're trying to put him in prison, by the way, because of his support for President Trump. So this fight is not over, not by a long shot. We're here today fighting because Charlie and many people before Charlie gave us the courage, but it's not going to be easy. If you think it's going to be easy now, if you're really willing to stand up and fight, it's really going to get harder. They're going to try to cancel you. You're going to lose friends. How many of you have lost friends? Raise, keep your hand up. How many of you have been canceled? How many of you have been lawfared? I need 3 arms. How many of you have been deposed, subpoenaed? It's not going to get easier. It only gets easier when we meet the Almighty in heaven. That's when it gets easier. But until we do, we've got to be up for the fight. Before I leave tonight, I want to read you something that Tyler shared on Twitter. He said, please take the time to look through these posts. It was a woman who had said, how many of you are going to go to church tomorrow because of Charlie Kirk? And there were 805 posts as of Saturday night. Today, there were about 8,000 posts. Charlie's going to be remembered for politics, but he's going to be remembered most for bringing people to God. Let me just read a couple of these because they moved me to tears today. I'm going to church because that's exactly where Charlie would want us to be, said one post. One post said, my husband and I are going to try diving into this journey with our children for the first time ever since Wednesday when Charlie died. Another person said, I just bought a Bible. I haven't been to church in 10 years. My body hurts, my brain hurts, I need rest, and I only know one way to find it. Another person said, I bought my first Bible on Friday. First Bible I've ever owned, and I'm finally seeing the light of it. How about this one? I haven't been to church, one woman said, since I was 10 or 11. I'm 31. I'm heading to church tomorrow morning with my husband and kids. And I got to find the one I love the most because it was the first Bible verse I reread when I was 50. I can't find it, but I'll tell you what it was. Somebody said, I bought a Bible. I just read the book of James, which, by the way, I highly recommend. It tells you how to be a good Christian. And I'm going to church tomorrow. Charlie, we miss you. We love you. We're going to protect and stand around Erica. She's got an army of mama bears and papa bears and cubs around her. We're stepping forward and we're going to save this republic. You got us going. You gave us a voice. You gave us the strength. And we're going to carry on so that we can find the freedom that you have. We love you, Charlie. We miss you. God bless you all.
For more news and updates, all you need to do is follow CNBC TV 18 on all of our digital platforms.